Okay, so this is physical therapy skill 8, donning and doffing transmission-based isolation equipment. So I'm going to assemble my equipment. I have a gown, I have some gloves, and I have a mask. And I'm going to just verbalize that I would have already washed my hands at this point. And I'm going to start donning equipment, so that means to put it on. So I'm going to start with a mask. I want to avoid touching the mask as best I can. And this one, you can see that I have the top ties and the bottom ties already tied. It's kind of common right now are the ear strap ones, whereas these guidelines are referring to the types that would actually have tie strings. So I'm just going to kind of show you with that. But what they would say is to go ahead and make sure that you have this secured under your chin and over your mouth and nose. Hopefully you're practicing wearing your mask properly. And then we typically do the top one first. So if this was a tie, I would tie my top one. And then the bottom string second. So I'll go ahead and just put my bottom string on second. But again, if you have the tie strings or you were given the tie strings, make sure that you kind of know how to tie those and what you're doing there. Also, make sure you look at the Montana Gotta Have It list so you know which of this equipment for any scenario that you're responsible for bringing versus what Montana HOSA would provide. So next comes the gown. And I have long sleeves on today. So I want to start by rolling my sleeves up above my elbow before putting on the gown. And I want to, and this would be folded up, and I want to unfold it, trying not to touch the outside of the gown. So just letting it fall and touching from the inside as I do this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and lift from inside the shoulders and shimmy my sleeves or my arms in. Again, it's a little awkward because you don't want to really be touching the outside of your gown at all for an isolation gown. So once I've got that on, I'm going to tie in the back. Again, I start with the necktie on the top. And then I can go ahead and fold down the edges of the gown and make sure that I'm completely covered and tie my waist strings to my gown. Next comes my gloves, and as I put on my gloves, I want to grab the outside of that cuff and slide my hand in. And the goal is going to be to pull that glove over the sleeves of your gown. Okay, so again, they're both over the sleeves of my gown, and so I've donned my equipment. Now I want to doff it and take it off. So I'm going to untie my waist, and then I'll go ahead and take off my gloves. And so I take off by pulling on the outside of this glove and turning it inside out. So anything that I contaminated with is on the inside of this glove. Putting that glove inside my other hand, and now this time I don't want to touch the outside of this glove at all. So I want to reach underneath here like this, and I'm going to also fold that one inside out on top of itself. As I do this, I will put these in an infectious waste container, wherever they're supposed to go is indicated in the room that you're doing your skill in. And then I will clean my hands with hand sanitizer before touching my mask. And then again, I want to take the mask off kind of in that reverse order. So I'll take off my bottom piece, and then by only touching the strings at the top, also place that into my biohazard container. I'll now untie my necktie and loosen my gowns at the shoulder. And I, again, only want to touch the inside of my gown. So I can fold this into itself and pull that down over my hand and use that with my opposite hand. And again, fold this into itself as I go and ease my arms out. There's a lot of steps on that of just easing your arms out. I've done a few videos, so it kind of came off a little easier. But again, I want to fold it in half and roll it together and place this in your infectious waste container as well. And then again, practice good hand hygiene and hand sanitize one more time.